We celebrated first fruit yesterday, remembering when Yahshua himself, the original first fruit, took the first fruit and delivered it to the Father. I'm glad to remember that, but I'm looking forward to, I don't know if you'll call it what, the last fruit or what, but I believe that Yahweh is sealing another group of 144,000 right now. Now, if you will, we'll turn to Revelation chapter 14. Page 1254, if you've got a word of Yahweh. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. I wondered several times, who could this be? For this was on the first day of the week after Yahshua had risen, so I knew that the graves opened, and it doesn't say how many. We know now how many there were. But the graves began to open, and these people coming out of the graves. Some of them even went into the city. They were seen. And I wondered, who were they? I don't know. I was reading this morning, and I come across this. In the 11th chapter of Hebrews. By faith, verse 31, the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believe not, when she received the spies with peace. And what should I say more? But time would fail me. Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and all the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed violent in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens, women receive her dead, raised to life again. These are all people that we've never heard of. And others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. And others had trials, cruels, mocking, scourgings, yea, moreover of bonds and imprisonments. They were stoned, they were sawed asunder, tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented. You know, the Bible doesn't mention them to us, really, other than just that. Of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains, in dens and caves of the earth. All of these, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. Elohim having provided some better thing for us, that they, without us, should not be made perfect. So I was thinking this morning as I was reading that, I was thinking, you know, that could be them very easily. I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, as the voice of great thunder. I heard the voice of harpers singing with harps. And they sang as it was a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were, past tense, redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with woman. That woman in the 17th chapter that we read about, riding upon the beast, they were not defiled with her, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wheresoever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, past tense, being the first fruits unto Elohim and the Lamb. Yesterday we were remembering that day on the first day of the week when Yahshua met with Miriam first. And he told her, don't touch me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. He had not yet ascended and took the first fruits to the Father. John tells us that when Peter and John got there, and some of the other disciples, that they grabbed him by the feet, which tells us that he had already ascended that fast and allowed himself to be touched. I saw another angel fly in the midst of the heaven, having the everlasting good news to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim and give honor to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Worship him that made heaven, the earth, and sea, and the fountains and the waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city before, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Did you ever wonder why, when Israel first crossed the river, they were circumcised, they took the Passover, and they marched around this city 7 days and 7 times on the seventh day. But they were told, be careful, do not touch the accursed thing. I've told many of you many times, I know you know, about how Yahweh come to me, and I didn't even know his name. and spoke to me in the middle of the night and told me, go read that 7th chapter. We read the 5th and 6th today, but the 7th is all about a man who took the goodly Babylonian garment, the accursed thing. And Yahweh showed me many years ago that everything had anything to do with Babylon, it was accursed. And over the years, he showed me how much our brothers Judah learned there, how much they brought forth, how much many of our fellow brothers now are fallen because they've picked up these things that Judah picked up in Babylon. We heard today some sad news about a brother that's in bad shape. But I told him so many times, this Babylon doctrines that you got and you refuse to give up, that they're accursed, and you'll be accursed if you don't give them up. It's a bad, sad thing. But the bigger part of the people who now call themselves sacred name people are following after the Babylonian doctrine. And if you can't get that first one right, none of the others will be right.
That's right.
That's the problem.
That's right.
Babylon is going to be destroyed very soon. I had a good time yesterday. I was able to spend time with some of the brothers here and with the Wadeson family. And we had a lot of discussion about these things that we see all around us. And it's not going to get any better. I don't care who gets elected to what. It doesn't change anything. You must understand that. You must understand that they're going to continue to kill their children, their own children. And they're fighting you for it.
Amen.
Can you just imagine? I was born in the 30s. I was raised in the 40s and the 50s. I could not imagine someone that died My grandpa died in 1949. If he was to come up and to find out what, not just the world, but this country, what it looks like today, I'm sure he'd want to get back in that grave. He could not stand it. Things that we accept every day. People would have been tarred and feathered for in the 40s. It's unbelievable. The biggest thing that they have brought up in their election year is we demand the right to kill our children while they're yet defenseless. All across this nation, in every university, every college, the students are raging in their hatred for Israel. That's what it is. That tiny nation right beside Israel attacked Israel. It wasn't no little group of Hamas. It was that nation attacked Israel, killed thousands, took hostages, raped, murdered. That little nation did. But if you just change the way it's worded, see, it makes that nation innocent. And only a few guilty. And who are they? Where are they hiding? It's not going to make any difference who runs this nation. You better believe that. Yahweh is going to suddenly make a big change. They've gotten where they are with the old frog in the hot water system, you know. Put the frog in warm water and let it heat up. And I haven't never tried it, but they tell me a frog will sit right there until he cooks. It makes sense. Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. I've got 3 granddaughters. Only 3. All three of them were raised in this assembly. All three of them were taught right and wrong. All three of them live in fornication right out in front of everybody. All three of them believe that it's fine to kill the babies. I don't even know what the great-grandchildren believe. I'm afraid to find out. But grandchildren that were right here. And a third angel followed right after Babylon is destroyed, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. We sing this song, Daystar. And it talks about the deceiver that deceives the whole nation, the whole world. People hate to hear it because they all love this image of the beast. When you're born, each and every one of you are given a name. Now, it makes no difference how long it is, but from that day, that's who you are. That day, you're David. Today, you're David. Tomorrow, you'll be David. That's how serious the name is. That's who you are. That's why it's so important that we call him by his name. That's who he is. He is not Jesus Christ. He has never been. The Pope calls him Jesus Christ. The Methodists call him Jesus Christ. They all call him that, and that's not who he is. And I say that, and the ones that criticizes me most are the people who are supposed to be in his name. when this beast stands up, when this man of sin stands up, I guarantee you that the world will love him because he's coming in the name that they love. That it's so simple. It's so simple to see it. All you have to do is open your eyes. Yes, he has deceived the world. Yes, the whole world. Do you know what the Muslims call him? They call him Jesus Christ. They don't believe that he is who he is. The Mormons, the Latter-day Saints of the JWs. It don't make any difference where you go. The world is deceived. If any man worship the beast and his image, they're going to receive a punishment. I myself, I don't believe. Now, I'm stepping out of the message here a minute, okay? But I don't believe that everybody is going to be tortured forever. I believe that a lot of people, oh, now, let me burn a few ears here, upset some people. But those beasts, those ones that are the beast that were made to be destroyed, are going to be destroyed. They act like beasts because they are beasts. Natural, brute beast.
Beast by nature.
But they will, and we have a double witness, Jude and Peter, both of them say the same thing.
That's right.
But beasts are beasts, and they're going to be destroyed. Dogs are dogs, they'll be destroyed. Apes are apes, and they'll be destroyed. And the seed of the serpent that walks around here and looks like a man, acts like a man, is going to be destroyed.
That's right.
And I don't think that everybody has to be baptized in the name of Yahshua to be eventually saved. I think if you're going to be part of the first resurrection and part of his kingdom, you have to have his name put upon you. But after that, after the kingdom, after the 1,000 years, everybody's going to be raised up. And those that were righteous in their life will be judged righteous. That's why you have to be judged holy. It's the difference. You got to be judged holy. This is why you got the Holy Spirit working in your life. Or you better have. Yahshua talked about people. He said, I've got people you don't know anything about. He said, well, I was in jail and you come to visit me. Well, when was that? Well, whenever you visit one of the little ones, you visit me. I was hungry and you fed me. Well, when was that? When you fed one of my little ones. I know this is not it's not what everyone expects someone to preach. But this has nothing to do with you and me. You and me, we've got Yahshua. And we're going to be kings and priests in his kingdom. And we will not be in that white throne judgment.
That's right.
Because on us and the first resurrection, the second death has no power.
That's right.
I hope you can understand that. But after that, Yahshua himself will sit on the white throne and judge every person by their works. I know that's a dirty word. In the churches today, that's a dirty word. But what he's talking about is the people whose heart were righteous. I've told you before, there's 4 types of people. 4 types of people. And this is the 22nd chapter of Revelation. After Yahshua comes back, after the kingdom, after the white throne judgment, into the rest, into Yahweh's rest, which is represented as New Jerusalem. He said, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time's at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust. He who could have been just, but refused to be just, let him be unjust. He that is filthy, let him be filthy still. 2 different things. One that chooses to be unjust, and another one just plain filthy. But he that is righteous, the one who chose to be just, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. those that take the mark of the beast and his image. And I've told you what it is. And there's just very, very few that'll stand out and tell you what the image of the beast is. Oh, yeah, he's an image. Looks like it in a lot of ways. When he came out on the white horse, no sword, had a bow. That was the image of the beast. The image of the beast is not one that's going to suddenly appear after Babylon the Great is destroyed. That image of the beast is 2,000 years old. Don't kid yourself. You ever wonder why they don't call him Jesus? Well, why not Jesus?
That exposes him.
Because that exposes him. Shows exactly who he is. Jesus, Jesus. The image of the beast. The very image. Looks like it. From a long distance, if you're looking, it looks like it. It'll fool millions, billions. It just can't do right. It can't do right. You walk away from here today, you've been told. If you refuse, then I know where you're headed. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they which keep the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahshua. See, that's the difference. That's so easy. One sentence tells you the difference. Simple. They keep the commandments of Elohim. And have the faith of Yahshua. We're told that. We're told that Satan's got a trick. You read about it and you hear about it every day. Of course, they don't tell you this is Satan's trick. But he says he's going to bring all these waters over Israel. True Israel, not the one over there calling himself. He's going to bring all these waters. All these people is going to just absolutely flood them. Flood them in. Choke him. Choke him. I'm going to choke you. But it don't work. It don't work. It don't choke them completely. And when that don't work, then he's going to go after those that keep the commandment and have the testimony of Yahshua. Folks, now I know that all of you here Every one of you, I believe, have been baptized in the name of Yahshua. So, I believe that somebody will hear this message that needs to hear it, needs to know it. But you need to pay, you men, you ministers, you need to pay close attention to this message. And you need to preach the word wherever you go. And you know as well as I do, once you say what I'm saying, that you are going to have tribulation, and you know it. It's probably why you don't do what I do. But you need to. You need to be a prophet of Yahshua. You need to speak it out and tell the world where their sin is. You're probably not going to find too many people that are going to like what you got to say. That is not the point. I want you ministers and you sisters. I want you to look at the 18th chapter of Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter of Ezekiel. I want you to read them at home. And I want you to realize that you don't tell them, you will be required of them. If you don't tell them, you'll answer for it.